minus 5 minutes. T minus 4 minutes. T minus 3 minutes.
All right. Let's see how many people we got in here right now. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What's up, guys? How are you? Mad's World. You were out riding today. That's crazy. I wish. I wish. Isaac, how are you? So let's close that down. Oof. All right. We're just going to wait a couple minutes. All right. Remember to put down in the comments and stuff if you have any questions I'm not going to cover over. I got a couple here. We're going to go through them probably in a minute or two. Just going to wait for anybody else. Yeah, so far you have people actually riding already. And Steve says he's out riding in March. I hope so. I really do. Bushings and the elimination of the slop. Okay, so that is because in the 3 and 500, they use rubber bushings. So if you notice, if you put risers on, what happens is you can actually move it, right? So you can actually feel the bars move. On the 1100, it's actually a bolt. So you actually don't have that. So yes, those metal bushings will actually help you. So 75 today. That's fantastic. Gus, how are you, buddy? 7 inches of snow for buddy. That's crazy. All right. Anyways, okay. So how we're gonna do this is the first time I've actually done this by myself. So we will try to kind of get some questions through here. Also, I have the chat up here as well, so I can actually follow that. Easy to install. I'm assuming that's the question as far as the bushings. It's fairly straightforward, but again, if I ever come into somebody wanting to do this and they're local kind of thing, I kind of tell them part of doing it is I have to be able to record it. That way I can push it to you guys, right? So it's just easier that way. Where the heck is Jeremiah? Jeremiah is no longer going to be here today because he has stuff to do, apparently. He's a hater. Okay, so started my insurance. Oh, yes, okay, because you ended up getting the 1100. Was it last year, March? You have the DCT. Okay, all right, so we're going to end up going through a couple questions here. I just have them kind of on the computer, kind of added who did it as well. I don't know if I'm going to actually give the names yet, but we can go over. Yes. Steve, I'm excited to review your bike, all the purses you have all over it. Anyways, okay, so first question that actually I got, and these are all questions that was actually handed or sent in to me, was how do you feel about the 2025 Rebel 1100, the updates they've actually done to it? So as far as the ergonomics, right? So I have actually not been on an 1100 from the 2025 yet, so I don't know for sure, but everything that you can kind of see on the like online and stuff, you can tell that it is kind of slightly forward a bit. They did actually move basically the triangle kind of like a little bit further back, and you can actually get a little bit more leg space. Now I'm a vertically challenged person, so therefore, I mean, it doesn't really work for me. I don't really like forward controls. I like a more sporty like ride. Once you push the controls further forward, it's a little bit harder to have that spirit, like you lose a little bit of control over the bike. Not to the point that it's not usable, but it just removes the sportiness of it. I don't really like the forwards because of that, but I understand why people use them. So it should also add to like removal of leg cramping and stuff. But like in my opinion, all you would really need to do is get a set of crash guards and put some highway pegs on. That way you have a little bit more kind of leg room, right? But I mean, it is what it is. Steve telling me that I need to be nice. Yeah, Gus. I mean, that's the problem, right? So I kind of like, you're gonna have to, next time I end up going down to Annapolis, you're gonna have to jump on mine just to test it out. I understand it's only the 500, but the bars are kind of something that you either like or you don't like, and it's like, you've been on sport bikes before. I know you used to race them on the track. So basically, instead of like having the bars kind of straight out, they kind of come down and in a bit, right? So it's the Biltwell Keystones, but the small version, not the large. So you get a little bit more kind of sportiness of it. Kind of helps with, it's like a little cheat for slow speed maneuvers and stuff too. So it's another thing, right? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, highway pegs are the way to go. Let's just look over the chat for a second. What's more important than this? Well, you know what, Isaac, I completely agree. Although it is one of his friends, I don't know if he's ever been on this chat, but it is his birthday today, so I'm not sure whether or not it's something to do with that. So I'll forgive him this once. Okay. So that, so the other one that, another question that I got, which was kind of interesting, the Woolwich Racing Tune on the 1100 from Moore Mafia. What do I think about that? I mean, he made a quote here, a beggar that wheelies. Put this in perspective, the 1100 wheelies anyways, so you actually don't need the tune to be able to wheelie on the 1100. You just need to know how to do clutch ups, right? So, I mean, I don't know why you want to. It's a lot of stress on that suspension, but it's up to you, right? So, I mean, as far as that goes, I am interested in that. I think it's actually a pretty interesting, it gives an option to the actual community, which is pretty nice. And then again, there's pros and cons to it, right? So like pros would be like performance. You'd actually have better like throttle response, because the earlier 1100s, they say that this year they kind of smoothed it out a little bit. But that throttle is very choppy on the 1100. The speed limiter, I mean, if you're wanting to go that fast, sure. I mean, on the track, it'd be nice, but I mean, you don't really need to. And Birch has also done like a little install kind of thing, how to kind of trick the speedometer, so then you can still go quicker anyways. But again, the 1100 at higher speeds, that front gets a little light, and you are going to feel a lot more like tank slapper kind of. So you're going to want to be a little careful as far as that goes, right? Upgrade suspension, like Gus's Rebel's a beast. But that is something that I would probably end up wanting to do, that, or stiffen up that rear suspension to kind of help like squat it forward a bit. But yeah. Cons to that though, the tune would be fuel consumption. I've been told that fuel consumption on that tune is very bad. But again, if you're doing something like that, you're trying to get performance out of it, you're going to sacrifice that anyway, so it's not really a big deal. And it's not a dedicated map to that bike. So basically, the way, I'm going to probably burn myself here, but the biggest problem that I have with tunes like that is unless you have all of the things checked off, it is not accurate. Every bike, even if it has the same exhaust, the same intake, the same everything, right? It is still different, right? Because the engine itself has tolerances, and that tolerance will change the tune essentially. So it's always best if you can to get an actual proper tune done. But I mean, that's not really an option a lot of the time, right? So, I mean, that's that. Let's check the thing. The Indian Super Scout. Yeah, I've actually not looked at that yet. The Scout, what do they call it? Scout 101? Could be Scout 101. It's like red, red, white, and black, I think. That's a pretty decent bike. That upgrade that they ended up doing as far as like the frame and kind of cleaning it up, they did a really good job with that bike. That bike actually is a very nice bike. Oh yeah. Guess 100%, 100. Suspension, honestly, again, I've been on quite a few different 1100s, bunch of 500s and stuff too. Suspension literally changes this bike completely. So, like for example, mine, that 500 with that suspension, dead serious. If anybody wants to do any upgrade to the Rebel 500, or even the 1100. The first thing you need to do is suspension. Like I'm telling you, you will love that completely. It changes the way that it rides, the way it handles. Again, like I said earlier, I think I did it in a couple different videos and stuff. My 500 is actually more more stable at highway speeds than the 1100, which is crazy. 2020 Rebel kept in the garage. Recently found a slow oil leak by the alternator or stator. Any day. Okay, yes. I've seen a couple of that, and actually mine's starting to sweat too. So I'm going to be doing some digging for that and seeing whereabouts that is. And if it's something similar, then you could just follow that video. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be doing that, but I will. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Yes, the 1100T is actually a very, very good looking bike. And when I had it, so again, I had Tim's for almost 3.5 weeks. And I'm telling you that those bags, I thought for a little bit, right? When you first look at it, you're like, they're kind of useless. They're not going to be able to fit anything. Actually, it does a pretty good job. And as far as a hard case, again, the hard case is nice, but I mean, the only problem I would have with that is probably that bracket assembly on the back. It's kind of an eyesore, but if you didn't have that, it would be completely out of whack, right? So, blah, 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 blah. You and I can talk about doing it. Doing what? I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Steve. Yes. Okay. So Isaac, the Batwing fairing, I actually was kind of, if I was going to get the 1100 soon, the 1100T is actually very, very interesting to me. And to be that honest, it's actually not because of the actual fairing. It's about the brackets behind it. The brackets behind that fairing would work so well with the fairing I have on my 500. Yes. Suspension. Yeah, you're gonna do suspension. I know I'm gonna be doing a set of Burley brand stilettos. Actually, it's funny. Tim's old bike is now David's bike, right? So it's small world, but I'll be doing a bunch of work on that one as well. He's got the stilettos that he wants me to put on that. So, ever watch Navi Mac Life? I don't know. I'm assuming he's a YouTuber. I can check into him. But yeah, okay. So let's go to the next question. So next question is, what is a frustrating issue or modification with the Rebel? Honestly, the Rebel is such a easy bike to work on. We're kind of spoiled. The only things that I could say is probably some of the fasteners. Like, for example, the fasteners for the rear fender. Everybody likes to claim they're easy to strip. That is true if you don't use proper tools. So if you use like a cheap like Allen for that, they run pretty easy. A trick to that would probably be try to tighten it slightly to break it through. It kind of just gives that initial crack a little bit more. That, or you can kind of go up inside and spray some penetrant fluid on it, like some WD-40. That sometimes helps. It's typically guys that have not really done anything with that bolt for like years, right? And once they get like rust and stuff build up in there, it makes it very difficult to crack that loose, and then typically the Allen fails before the rust gets through. I mean, Isaac, if you can take any bike out, I encourage taking out every bike you possibly can. It's one of the reasons why I like the Harley Davidson test ride things. I enjoy riding all kinds of different bikes. I don't really have a bike I dislike. I think anything on two is a good day, right? But I think if you can get on more bikes, you appreciate the bike that you have, and you can look at where you want to go in the future, kind of thing. So I'll be honest, I was looking at getting a Lowrider ST. That is no longer the option or the area I'll be going, mainly because of the channel. But I mean, it makes sense to stay more with the Rebel kind of family. But there's nothing, again, like the Lowrider ST is kind of like a bigger version of like the 1100 Rebel, essentially. Not really, but it has that sportiness to it too, but it's a bigger thing, right? You should get a Vespa. Steve, you're telling me to be nice to you, and you're gonna be saying stuff like that. That's mean. Okay. All right. So another question that I ended up getting. This one was from Ben's dad, 2003. So how about adding a tack to the 500? Okay. So that's actually a question that I've gotten a few times. I personally don't think I'd put a tack on mine, just because I don't think I need it. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't get it, right? There is options. The one that most people look at is the Daytona. You can get that on, is it WeBike? I think it's WeBike, something like that. There's lots of information and stuff like that. And actually, to be honest, putting an attack on the 500 or the 300 is actually fairly easy to do. All you have to really do is deal with one wire. There's an argument whether or not you're going to pick on number one cylinder or number two, or the ignition coil, I should say. But most people pick on the number one. Again, if memory serves me correctly, I think it's a blue wire yellow tracer on the ECU. You can access that pretty easy, and all you're going to be doing is kind of splicing into it, right? So it works. They have ones that are only 9K, so it's not like you're not going to have like a sport bike kind of tack that goes up to like 18, 19K. So you do a 9K one, I think it's called Valona. Starts with a V something. I think it's like that. But there's options. You can get them on like Amazon, stuff like that. Fairly straightforward though. Basically, all you need is power, ground, and the signal wire, which would be that blue with the yellow tracer. But yeah, like I said, if I do have somebody that is in the local area that wants me to put one on, I will do a video on that. As far as right now, there's nothing in the works right now. So, scoopers, yeah, okay. Your next bike will be either a Super Scout or the 1100. Honestly, okay, so the 1100, again, I have a biased view, but the 1100, in my opinion, is a more capable bike. How do you say this nicely? Basically, it's a better bike as far as like maintenance, as far as sportiness kind of thing. It's lighter. It's easier to flick around, that type of stuff. I think the new Scouts, I think it was last year they changed it. Yeah, last year, I think it was last year, that they just got a fuel gauge, right? So it's a little crazy, but I mean, it is what it is, right? Let's go. Okay. Again, if you have any questions or concerns or anything like that, just add them in the chat. I am still kind of looking through that as well. All right. Okay, so how I do, one of the questions is basically proper clutch adjustments and rear brake adjustments, how to do that. I will be updating videos. I have quite a bit of footage. So what I normally do is I load up pretty good in the summer, and then I edit and kind of release them throughout the winter as well. So I have lots and lots and lots and lots of videos that needs to be put out. Clutch adjustment is one of them. I think the rear brake adjustment is something that I can do if I have enough interest, but it's pretty straightforward as well. But I mean, I can do that absolutely. And like I said, anybody that needs like a video that they can't find on the internet or whatever on it, or they'd like my take on it, then again, shoot me an email. My email is on the actual channel page, and again, that's an easy way to contact me, and I will do those videos again as soon as I possibly can. Right? Richard's in there. Old man, very old man. Thanks, buddy. You need a bike. Burley Brands. Okay, so Steven, the actual Burley Brands slammers are actually really nice. They look really cool. Function, they're rock solid. Anytime that you put a slammer kit on a bike, just say goodbye to your spine. Like, it's just so bad. They look nice though. Yeah, okay, so Isaac, as far as the Indian versus Honda, as far as reliability, Honda is probably one of the biggest global manufacturers of motorcycles at whole. I think their target, if I read a report, their target, I think they want to have like 52% of the market globally, like not North America, whatever, but globally. And I mean, they do very well in like India and stuff like that, right? But I mean, reliability, Honda's known for their reliability, right? They've had some hiccups. If you have an 1100 first couple years, the oil leak problems that they ended up having. But let's be honest, like, I've never had anything wrong with my 500. Sorry, there's one item, but it's a maintenance item. That wear and tear, I should say. That is going to be a video that I'm releasing as well. It's actually just shifter. The shifter itself, the bushing inside wore out. But again, like as far as engine, I have, what, 80K on mine now, 80,000 kilometers, and I have yet to deal with a valve shim. Like, it's crazy. They're really good. All right, so in my year-end video, I ended up posting how I had a buddy of mine that wanted to, or wants me to do car videos. Everyone welcome Sinister to the channel. So he's actually the guy, Richard, is the guy that he wants me to do car stuff, and that's okay, but I would have to do a second channel. It screws up the algorithm so bad that, I mean, even this type of stuff, like live streams, it's different than the regular videos. So as far as YouTube goes, like, YouTube really wants you to do cookie cutter stuff. They don't like you expanding. Like, I mean, like, take Birch, for example, right? Some of his best videos, in my opinion, are his events. The problem that he has is that's not typically what his videos are. And it sucks because they're so well done. He does amazing work with it, but it just goes against his channel. So it takes the wind out of the sails pretty good too, right? Because he spends all this time on this video, and then all of a sudden it comes out and there's like no views. Well, comparable, right? Like, obviously he does very well, but it's crazy that way. It's kind of difficult to kind of read. It's kind of a little weird, but like, I do this kind of as a hobby kind of thing. So, I mean, it doesn't really bother me if it doesn't produce that well or doesn't get to many eyes. I mean, the channel's still growing in my opinion. But when you're doing it as like a career, it's kind of unfair. Like, he deserves a lot more success than he has, and he's very successful at it. Oh wow, thanks, buddy. You are the best. Keep up the hard work. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate you. Did they fix the oil leak? Not all of them had it, right? So it's kind of like, I mean, if you were to pick all the VINs, I would say that it's like a big section of them, and maybe again it was just tolerances. Maybe it was just that when it was getting put together, it was kind of not enough sealant. As far as I'm concerned, like all the new ones that I've seen, I haven't seen one that has a leak, but I've been told. Francis, buddy, how are you? Recommendation is yes. So, like Gus has stated, get the warranty. Because there is a known problem with the oil leak, I mean, if you don't want to do it yourself, get the warranty and they'll cover it, right? So the 5 year is actually very, very smart, right? 30-mile round trip, that's baby time. Come on. So so basically the way the 500 is, and again, I don't understand the whole 3 versus 5 versus 11. It's kind of silly to me. They're all rebels. But I think the biggest thing is, people say you can ride on the highway on the 300, and you can. It's just you're really asking that bike to do a lot. But the 500 does actually a very good job on the highway. It's not a fast bike by any means, but it is comfortable. Like I've ridden with all kinds of people, and I don't ever have a problem keeping up, right? So there's that. So commute, it'll do the commute quite well. I do my commute, and it's about 200 kilometers round trip, right? So. Oh, wow. Jeremiah actually did come in. What's up, beautiful? Look at this guy. All right, all right, all right. Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna cry, okay, but that is crazy. Thanks, dude. Thank you very much. 65 on the speed limit. I mean, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine with 65. That's perfectly fine. Because that's what 110, I think, around there. So yeah, I mean, our speed limit's 100. If you don't go 130 at least on the highway on my commute, you're getting run over. So, so that's just kind of how it works. And again, the 500 does quite well with that too. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm just looking through some of the comments. Oh, yeah, Steve. Yeah, I guess you ended up getting yours used. Okay, if you go to the actual dealer, sometimes you can buy like warranty on top of it, right? You'd have to look. Cry, cry, cry. Look at this guy. Francis. Francis is a bully. He needs to get his channel going. Yeah, man. Jeremiah, I thought you were actually going to be doing that. I think you had a show tonight. Did you not? Oh, yeah, he is going. He's going. All right. Listening on live. Dude, you're the best. Okay, so let's continue on with these questions, whatever. So I had a question, actually, it was an interesting one. Why do you need to do a relay circuit or a thunder box to add auxiliary lights? The actual honest truth of it is you don't have to, unless you don't want to kill your battery, right? So if you want to kill your battery, you can just hook it to the battery and it's perfectly fine. Just make sure you turn it off and you're good. I wouldn't recommend that. The Thunderbox, in my opinion, is the best way to kind of deal with it because it removes all the additional wires, all the relay kits, all that crap, right? And it's essentially, I mean, the way I explain it is it's a smart relay. It controls battery voltage without actually requiring a signal trip, right? So it does a very good job as far as that goes. And again, depending on how much you're using, they give you the two options, right? You have your what U01 and U02, I think is what it's called. So basically, either one circuit or two, and it's so easy to use. It's so nice. It's so clean. It just, in my opinion, is great. They also, when you turn the bike off, it turns everything off. When you turn it on, until you start it, it doesn't draw from it. So, like, if you were using a relay kit, once you turn the ignition on, that relay kit's already going. So if you have, like, I don't know, let's say you have lights and your heated gear and like a million other things hooked up to this, you might not start the bike, right? So it's to the point that the Thunderbox needs to get that signal through before you can actually start using it, right? So the bike starts to run, then now all of a sudden all your stuff comes. So it's a better system in my opinion. They are a little pricey, but it's safer and easier to use in my opinion. Again, running a relay circuit, if you don't want to do the throttle or the Thunderbox, the relay circuit you can get, like, I mean, most aftermarket lamps comes with a relay kit, and that's literally just running low amperage through the signal or to the switch to control higher amperage, not high amp, but higher amperage to control those lights, right? So ooh, he's just done his gig. Blah, 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 blah. Isaac is literally racing down the highway at 80. Can you add underglow lights to yours? I can do whatever you want to your bike. I can disagree with it, but I can put it on your bike, Stephen. Yes. Is the Thunderbox easy to install? Yes, it is extremely easy to install. I actually have a video on it. So it's very straightforward. It's literally plug the power and ground to it, to the battery, and then use your signals. I mean, it gives you, oh no, I think it's like four or five circuits from it. I would have to look into it, but I think it's like 4 or 5. But oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. Jeremiah, you're the best, dude. That's nice. Okay. Nate, you suck, buddy. That's not nice at all. Man, they'll give anybody a mic and a camera nowadays. See, I love this community. It's a bunch of brothers and sisters. There's sisters there, but it's a very close knit community, and everyone's helping everyone. Everybody has again good sense of humor, I mean, I've been told that I'm kind of mean, but I like to just joke around with people. So Steve will tell you all about me being mean, apparently. So. Yeah, man, I'm shocked that Jeremiah came in. I was told he wasn't, so I appreciate you, brother. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, the picture behind me looks exactly like my 300. That's actually my 500, and my wife on it. So, oh, okay. So, the bike's actually not at my house right now. It's actually at my work. So what I can do is, if you want to send me an email for the paint code, I can get that paint code for you. I'm very mean to you. Look at these guys crying. I'm very mean to you. Francis, I am never mean to you. You're like my other short brother. Like, it's fantastic. I mean, kind of. Are you shorter than me? I think you're shorter than me. I'm going to tell everybody you're shorter than me. Gus, listen, he loves you huge. He absolutely loves you. Ever since he heard about that little red shoe, he's talked nonstop about Gus. Blah, 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 blah. It didn't make sense to install steel braided lines on. Okay, so that's actually an interesting question. Steel braided lines, it does do, how do you say this? Okay, it does work, but it doesn't work as well, if that makes sense, because unless you're going to remove the ABS, it's going through the ABS anyways. The problem with it is you might be hitting the ABS quicker, right? Because it's not getting that kind of relaxed. It's more of a punch. So you will actually feel ABS kick in a little bit more. Again, depending on your riding style too. Most people extend lines with steel braided, but I mean, in my opinion, if you want better braking performance, get the sintered pads and just make sure that it's free and moving, and you'll be fine. I mean, after you put those pads on, you will see the difference in performance like almost immediately. Yes. Okay, so Z Duckman, right? Some of your videos, I could hear the disagreement in your voice. I remember 2 of your videos where this guy wanted another. Yes, he wanted a different actual tack. He ended up having a one that had like a bunch of information on it, and then he wanted to go just to the single, just the number. And I was like, ugh, I literally just did this. Like, what were you doing? um, yeah, and there's 10 other things attached. Yeah. So I did a couple videos on his bike, and there is, again, I am not the owner of that bike, therefore my opinion doesn't matter, right? So if he wants me to put, I don't care, little tassels on the side of his like, on the side of his bars, perfect, looks great. But yes, I'm I don't typically like the flashy kind of things, right? Like mine is very basic, right? Mine is very like neutral, right? I don't really like all the bags and stuff. I don't like any of that type of stuff. I did a video on installing, there's like accessory bags, but like they're like 2 swing arm bags, and then there was 2 bags, like lower tank bags, and then the thing on the front. I actually had a different video on that, but I mean, YouTube wouldn't like that video, but I was kind of poking fun at him. I put a female feminine product in the front bag for him, recorded that, and then waited a couple months and then sent him the video. And of course, it was still in there because he wasn't using the bags, right? So, so it was what it is, what it is, right? So, holy crap. Switch to the DJI. Ooh, I would love to see your next videos, buddy. I kind of like the DJI, but I probably will end up going with Insta360. GoPro sucks. I absolutely despise my GoPro. And I mean, anybody that has done this for any length of time, even if it's a couple months, once you do a whole put this in perspective. I have done videos that I was not happy with the end product because I recorded it 4 or 5 times because I had some problem with the video or the audio. Typically, it's the audio that fails on it, but there are certain times that it just overheats and dies, and it will be recording, and then it will literally subtract like 50% of that video through that error code. It just ugh. Ooh, okay, so Jeremiah will be doing a video on his new camera setup. I'm actually interested in that. That'd be pretty nice. Everybody kind of sets up their their camera kind of setup, like at least their helmet, all kinds of different ones. Typically the ones that I like to watch are oh my goodness, what's his name? Chase on 2 wheels. Love his work as far as his camera setup and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Time for bed. 2:30 in the morning, dude. Go to sleep. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Okay, Steve, you said that you had centered pads, but they destroyed your rotor. That's because they were not. Okay, so when you install a set of these pads, there's actually a break-in. Typically, the tech will put that break-in for you, but depending on the shop, they'll just give it to you. They'll do a quick kind of break-in and then let you friggin' take it. And if you don't break them in properly, yes, they will destroy the rotor. 100%. Yeah. Yes, Gus having the problems. He's liking the GoPro as well. Actually, you know what? Let's see. Gus, that's for you, but look at. I just ended up picking up a set of DJI mic minis. problem that I was having was I had a couple comments because I'm still using the cable mic, so you'd see the cable every so often, and people would like give me a hard time about it. It is what it is, man. I'm working with what I got. When are we going on our dinner date? Well, you need to have a date for me to actually bring my wife down there to have a dinner date with you. Okay, it's gonna be creepy if you're the third wheel. You have to kind of have somebody with you. So I don't know. Maybe you can get somebody to come up with you. What's Gus doing? Yeah. Okay. So Nate, yeah, I'm excited to see what he comes up with and see where it's at. I think he's actually going to be using a similar setup as mine. I have not got my camera yet, but I'll eventually get that. Like, I mean, when the funds are available, I guess, right? So, um, yes, yes, yes. Jeremiah, go do that tomorrow. I don't care if it's snowing out or not. We want to see the audio quality and the video quality. um, all right. Yeah. Okay. So, Z-Doc Man was saying that he's heard a lot of people complaining about GoPro. The problem with GoPro, in my opinion, is they got complacent. And when a company gets complacent, then they start to fail, right? So they thought they were the king, king of all of these cameras, which let other companies like DJI and like Insta360, and there's many others. Those are the two top dogs right now. And because they decided that they wanted to kind of just let go, right? And just people will buy it just because it says GoPro on it, right? So it like the camera that I have is it's an 8, right? A Hero Black 8. Now it has done its job, okay? So I can't really complain about it as far as that goes, but every camera that I've looked at since, I'm not impressed with. Like if you watch reviews on it, like okay, like for example, there's oh my goodness, what's his name? It's an Australian dude that he drives a Triumph Scrambler. I don't recall his name, but he does a lot of like camera footage and stuff like that, and he does a lot of tech videos and stuff like that. I wish I knew his name. I really enjoy his channel. It's actually something that I really, really follow, because he gives you kind of not just video and audio, he gives you like the tech specs and then he shows you through it. And honestly, GoPro is so far behind. It's crazy, actually. So Steven, yes, that's why the rotors are destroyed. Because all they did was driving around the parking lot. Yeah, they didn't set it in for you. So if you don't set those pads, like I said, they will actually destroy the rotor because they need a proper break-in, right? And that's the problem, right? You could have probably saved the rotors, but again, once it glosses over, it's toast. You probably have like some vibration and stuff, right? Yes. Oh, so I thought you already had that. Jeremiah, I thought you already had the camera. I mean, 650 is not bad for the setup. That's not bad at all, actually. For that quality of a setup, that's not bad at all. um, 4 is a 5. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so let's go through blah, blah, blah. What's other things? Okay, so that's pretty much all the questions that I ended up getting. So anybody else have any questions or concerns? I'll give it a couple seconds. Somebody here tomorrow? All right. Yeah, I wish. Have a good one, Steve. Let's see if I missed anything first. I had to work on that. It's so bad because I literally missed friggin' guess friggin' going, friend, your feet are too small for those shoes. It's hilarious. There's a story behind this. I'm not gonna friggin' say it, but it's hilarious. So this, again, it goes to this community. It's fantastic. I absolutely love this community. It's great. Everybody likes to kind of give each other a hard time. It's almost as bad as Jeremiah. I feel bad for him. How to add attack on the Rebel 500. Yes, I did speak about that earlier on. It's actually pretty straightforward. It's essentially 3 wires, power, ground, and a signal wire from the coil from number 1. You'd get that typically at the ECM. It's a blue wire with a yellow tracer, if memory serves. I mean, I don't typically need it, right, in my opinion, but if I have somebody that's interested in around this area and I have the opportunity to actually do that install, I will make a video for it, just to be able to kind of, give that to the community, right? Again, I'll say it again. Any questions, any videos that you guys are looking for, if you don't know how to do it, or even if there's a video that I have that it wasn't clear enough, let me know. I have no problem answering questions. I actually had the one for the front video I actually redid, because the problem being a tech is I kind of look at things and, okay, that's normal, or that's kind of like, everybody knows that kind of thing. Well, then I don't record that portion, or I don't do that, and then I have questions, and then I'm like, oh crap, I was already there, I should have did that video. So I don't have a problem kind of fixing that to help people, but again, that or any other videos, if you need anything, your question on even if it's something like a gauge cluster doesn't, like, what's the features on it, I have no problem doing any videos like that. So when you say destroying rotors, what does that mean? Okay. Okay, grooves on the rotors. Okay, so grooves on the rotors will affect brake performance. It actually heats the brake a little bit more, and it'll eventually warp. It'll take out the pads faster, that type of stuff. Typically that happens when the brakes aren't serviced, or you get like a hard spot in the rotor or brake pad. All you have to do is use like Scotch-Brite and just clean up those rims, or the rotor, sorry, to be able to redo pads and stuff. A lot of people just throw pads on and don't clean the rotor, and then that kind of glosses over, adds heat, and then starts to do that. You don't want it to get to the point that it's overheating. When a rotor heats up, it actually loses performance. It has like a gas there, and have you ever heard of brake fade? It's essentially loss of brake performance. It's not the fact that you're losing the brake. The brake is still moving, everything's moving. It's typically the gas buildup there, and when it tries to stop, those pads actually don't come in contact with the rotor, so you lose brake performance essentially. Being an open rotor though, it's a lot harder to do that, it's exposed, right? So it cools down as well. So I think the issue with the brake having a problem, or brake like getting grooves and stuff through not being properly kind of worn in. When you replace a pad, like this sintered pads, you're supposed to do a break-in cycle, and if you don't do that break-in cycle, it will actually just like not. I say destroy the rotor. You can get them back if you catch them. If you don't catch them, you will destroy those pads or those rotors. All right, let's see. Please make a video on how to end winter, please. I wish, dude. I wish. Yeah, I mean, I'm further north than you, buddy. I got I got months before I get to jump on the bike. It's killing me, man. Yes. I'm so bad at this. Please, like everybody, please like and subscribe. Obviously, you guys are probably subscribed, but like the video, please. It does help the channel. This year's been rough here, man. It finally rained over here, so the salt has washed away. Oh, that's nice. I mean, there are days around here that actually the weather's not bad. So like the other day, it was what, 3 degrees or whatever. So you could technically ride the bike, but the salt would just destroy it, right? What's up, Slight? Thanks for going live, man. I have a really important question. When you have a chance to take another one about the 2018 Honda Rebel 500? Sure, yeah, send them. Let me know. What's the question? I want to ride on Monday. Jeremiah, I hate you. The fact that you can still ride sucks. Do you have to pay a tariff to watch this video? Oh, Fran, dude, you are like, I think you're further north than me, dude. So, or you're pretty close. You're pretty much like on the line. Only the ones in the south. Oh, you're killing me, my guy. You're killing me. Oh my goodness. Jeremiah, I'm gonna block you. Stop friggin' sending me money. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you. That's fantastic. My goodness. Erg. Again, this community. This is the way it works. Like, there was one time that we ended up going on his, and we almost got him crying. But it's not gonna. I'm not that guy. You're not gonna get me crying. I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Friend. Crazy. Oh, there's the question. Okay. Whoa. Okay. It keeps on going up. All right. My motorcycle has been sitting for a long time, probably about 2 years. I tried to start it with a fresh battery and clean gas, but cannot get the bike to turn over. It cranks. Okay, so did you have a fuel stabilizer in it? If you did not, there's probably water in those lines. Okay, water equals rust. You're not getting that thing started. It will take a while to crank that. Probably the easiest way to do it is to replace the spark plugs. And before you replace the spark plugs, take them out, start sending it. Cranking it over again with put like rags on top. That way you're not shooting fuel out. But that will kind of get rid of whatever. It's the easiest way to do it. Gets rid of all of that crap. And then, again, use a high test grade. Again, the bike doesn't need it, but on initial start, you're going to want to do that. Like, I always put high test on mine just before I store it, because the ethanol content, right? 0 ethanol equals harder to get water, moisture in the tank. And I also use a stabilizer, right? So if it's been sitting for 2 years, you might actually have to drain that tank. There's probably all kinds of water and stuff in there. So But yeah, try a couple of those things, and if you have any questions or concerns, just send me an email. I have my email in the channel page, so just send it through, and then if you can get me a video or stuff, I can see if I can help you out with that. Block me, I dare you. I'll find a way. I'm only kidding, dude. You're the best. Absolutely. He's just sending you all the money back to you. That's brutal. Still, it's still nice. That's fantastic, Fran. It doesn't turn over and start. Oh my God, Gus, stop. Thanks, dude. Thank you. Hold on. I'm gonna read that. Fran only cost this to get full access to my OnlyFans. That is tough, man. That is tough. 69. Oh, Gus, you're killing me, man. The fact that Gus trolls him like better than I do, that's just crazy. Okay. I've error on the fuel lines where they move up and down. I have an error on the fuel lines. What do you mean if you have an error on the fuel lines? The lines cycling is indeed an error, correct? I did get that email notification, Z. I will look at that after this. And yes, get me the video on that, IB, and then we'll look at that and see what we can do for you. Love you too, buddy. You're great. Gus is the man. On the gauge lines to tell you how. Oh, okay. So you're talking about the fuel level. Okay, so does it say that it's full and there's no gas in there, or what's the option? What are you trying to say? Oh, the Tesla money's not coming through. That's funny though. I appreciate it, Fran. You're the best. Just a troll. You need to keep your money though, right? Because you need to buy a date and then you can go. Yes, Fran is a professional troll. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Sounds like it has an issue. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, Fran. It does kind of sound to me like he's talking about fuel sending unit, not. But again, you can test that also, right? Again, easiest way to do that, I mean, without taking injectors and stuff out, literally take that plug out and see whether or not it's spraying something, right? So again, with a rag, put the rag over top and you can crank it over. You're not going to start it because there's no plug there. So then you can just start it or crank it over. And if there's no like mist or no more fuel or whatever coming out, then obviously you have a sending unit problem, right? Easy way, right? Without tools, it's kind of the easiest, fastest kind of way to do it. And they're pretty easy to get to those plugs, right? Jeremiah's going to be your date, eh? I mean, no offense, dude. You'd be his date. Yeah, the video, yeah. Send me that video and then we can kind of go from there. If you actually do send that, just send it at your earliest convenience. and then I can look into it and see where we're at. Showing error. Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. Poor Francis. You know what's crazy? It took me a while to actually know what the hell Fran meant. I thought for sure that was just he got called Fran. I didn't realize it actually meant Francis. It took me a minute. Oh my goodness. I mean, I know a guy that might help you out with that, Francis. I don't know if he's still in here. That's just messed up. That's funny. I mean, in all honesty, the only thing that Francis needs to start doing is finding a new location for us to go down to Annapolis. That's why we keep you in the group, my guy. You're really good at finding those things. Although last time it wasn't even you. So you're failing at that too. Oh, you're killing me, dude. Thank you, Jeremiah. Unbelievable. You guys are great. I appreciate you. I'll be emailing you about it. Slight. I genuinely would appreciate the help with it. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's why I do this channel, right? I enjoy doing it, and I mean, if I can help out in the community, why not, right? That's kind of what this community is about, right? So. I mean, you have that credit card. Why don't you just use it, right? We'll get you. That's hilarious. Unbelievable. Yeah, no. Okay, so we were looking into getting that same house, but apparently it's off the market, right? I don't know what you're talking about. Francis, what are you talking about, my guy? Going on how many times are you... What? Oh, it wouldn't let me say easy. Yeah, the miles per gallon on these things are crazy. I am not nice to mine, and mine does great. Um, it's crazy. Like, I mean, if I babied it, to think how much I could get on a tank would be just insane. I mean, if it's just a winter break, Jeremiah, then we need to get on that, right? Quickest quickest guys to it. Again, the problem is we don't know what day, right? Going to say right. Nobody knows what you're talking about. I don't think you know what you're talking about. Yeah, exactly. Gus got it. Gus is looking at me, or looking at you the same way I'm looking at you. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Nobody knows what you're talking about. Ask her tonight. Thanks, dude. That would be fantastic. And that we can get on the thing. The problem is, again, we're waiting on Birch, right? And Birch will tell us, like, maybe a month in advance, if that. Yeah, that's a pretty smart thing. At least see if it's even available, right? Yeah. Gus will have to come by too. We promise we will put our cameras away. Yeah. Maybe we should just start talking to Nina. Nina maybe will get the information out of him faster. I used to spend $100 a week on gas. Yeah. Like, if you ended, yeah, the fuel economy on the Rebel 500 or the 300 is actually pretty good too. The Rebel 1100, I mean, if you're a little bit on it, yeah, it's that gas gauge likes to start flashing at you. How many times am I gonna say right? I say a lot of things the same thing over and over and over again. My mistake. Apparently we're not all as perfect as Francis. Okie dokie. All right, any more questions, gentlemen? This is true, yes. A bike is always going to be better on gas than a car, right? So, and the 1100 is such a great bike. Like, if you've never actually been on the 1100, like if you ride the 5 or anything else, take that 1100 out. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It is it's a very light bike still, and it just, the way it rides is just so smooth. It's so nice. The only thing it actually struggles with, in my opinion, is that throttle by wire. If they smooth it out, it will be a lot better. But again, it only happens when you first start riding it. You can adapt to it pretty quick. The problem, I mean, in my opinion anyways, is it's just too twitchy. It's either on or off. There's really not any feathering as far as that goes. So you are going to be using the clutch a little bit more to kind of smooth that out. But, I mean, or you can buy the DCT, all right? That works. Ajax. Well, Francis. I mean, if anything's chucking wood, my guy, it's probably you. So, good old Francis. Yeah, whenever you figure out the date situation, you let me know, and then I'll set something up over here. So what is it? Olive Garden, right? Yes. All right, gentlemen. Is there any other questions, concerns, anything like that? I think I went through this all. Yeah. Again, just a reminder, I am going to be doing these the first month, or the first Saturday of each month in the winter season at least. I might be doing it throughout, depending whether or not anybody actually wants to see these. Hold on. We actually do have Olive Gardens, or I think we might have one. I think there's one over near Toronto anyways, but nobody likes Toronto, so. Actually, yeah. Gus, how do you like Toronto? You went through it once. Yeah, have a good night, Jeremiah, dude. Thank you very much, dude. That means a lot, dude. I know you were busy tonight. It's very nice to actually see you come down. And all the donations, my goodness. I'm concerned that there's too much gas in the fuel system. What are you talking about? Yes, yes. Gus, I'm telling you, man, if you would have let me know, I would have ended up telling you not to go to Toronto. It is an absolute crazy friggin' spot. And again, I think you were on the DVP. No, you were on, were you in Lakeshore? I think it was. It was something around that. And yeah, no, and then it was during like rush hour, like this poor guy, he's showing the video, whatever. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, all right, gentlemen, I think everybody's getting out. Are they? Oh my goodness. All right, Larry, glad I could catch you live. Keep going with the channel. You've been a great help. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you very much. Just spam there to screw. And of course, Francis, like, just take the keyboard away from that kid. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Was there any other questions or concerns that anybody had? Sorry, just checking over, seeing if I didn't miss anything. Yes, the 1100 does get thirsty, yes. Wish I could do... Yeah. I mean, the problem that I have with the 1100 is it's not in my garage. But no, at the end of the day, the 1100 is actually a very nice bike. It's basically the only thing I don't like about it is that throttle. But again, you do get through it. It's pretty easy to go through, or like you do get used to it, I should say. So it's not a bad thing. It's just, and going back down to that, what was it called, Woolwich Racing Tune. I'm not sure, but I'm sure that would have had to smooth that out at bare minimum, right? But yeah. Anyways, so I am going to look through one last time, and then we might close it up for the night. Anything else? Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna end up shutting her down. So, just made it home. Well, that's nice. I'm happy you made it home safe. Okay, so again, I am going to be doing this every first Saturday of the month through the winter months. Again, I think I'm going to be changing the time slightly, just because I think we'll be doing that, the inner circle kind of thing, whatever, that I'll be joining in on that conversation as well. And then, but again, I'll keep everybody posted. I do that in the community notes. And then, if you, again, any questions or concerns, always ask me. I have that email. Just send me an email or send me a post on any of my videos. If you have questions, concerns, send it through. If I can help you, I will help you. If I can't, I'll do my best to try and get you some information. But unfortunately, I don't know everything, and but again, I could always see if I can help. If I don't know the answer, I'm not going to tell you, right? I'm not going to sit there and tell you, try this or do this, whatever, because it's not helpful, right? So, okay. So if anybody else has any questions, concerns, I'm going to shut this down, but you guys can just add it through, and we'll go from there. Again, everybody, I do appreciate you guys stopping by, spending time with me, and sending in your questions. I'm looking forward to the season. Obviously, the winter sucks, especially up in Canada. It just, but it was very nice to talk to everybody. Very nice to see everybody come out. And we're gonna shut her down. So thank you very much. Thanks, Z. Wait to see it.